안녕하세요. What's up, everybody? This is Tae.
And this is Gibson, and welcome to the very first episode of Almost Korean.
Pilot episode. So excited. So, now some of you guys who are watching might think, why are you guys called Almost Korean? We look very Korean here.
Yeah.
But as someone who grew up in the US, you go back to your motherland, it's hard to really fit in there, right? You kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
So we both have that experience living in Korea right now. We are in Korea. And when I first got here, Koreans kind of knew right away. Oh, you're not from here, huh?
But they could tell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the way I dress or the way I carry myself, the way I talk. Obviously, I'm like my Korean, I think it's decent, but
Your Korean's pretty good. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but I know exactly what you're talking about because I felt that too. And as an adult, I spent my time in Korea after I started shaving my head. So for me, that was an immediate giveaway, right?
Okay.
And then after that, I think you just nailed it. The way you dress, the way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
It's too obvious sometimes. It's kind of hard to put it into words, but when you talk to somebody who's gone through that, I think they can understand. And it's not just Korean culture either. You see it like across the world.
Right. So like we're obviously ethnically Korean,
Right.
but culturally we're very American.
Sure.
Right. So I thought it was appropriate for us to call ourselves almost American for this podcast and
Almost Korean, you mean?
almost what did I say?
Almost American.
Almost American. Wow.
It's okay. America is very accepting.
Yes. Almost Korean, almost American. That's true.
Yeah.
You know what? When I was in the US, sometimes I felt like I'm not American enough. Yeah.
I feel a lot more included nowadays. But let's just say if we rewind about 20 years, roughly, during my high school time, I've had some episode where it was like rough.
Yeah.
Like it was rough, especially for a very impressionable teenager, right? That was a rough time for me. And in my case, because I came to the US after spending a big chunk of my childhood in Korea, I had to relearn.
Yeah.
So I was actually on the opposite end. I was trying to become, I was pretty Korean, and I was trying to be almost American.
There you go. It worked out somehow.
Yeah.
I do remember like it was a fifth grade. I felt like that was my first case of like running into racism where this girl like called me Chinese boy. I'm like, I'm not Chinese. But again,
Interesting.
yeah. So
No, go ahead. I just said that because I have a similar episode. But go ahead. Tell me about yours.
no, I was like a safety patrol, and then I was telling this girl, I was like, hey, don't walk on that side of the street. She's like, she was like, I don't have to listen to you like Chinese boy. I was like, wait, I'm not Chinese. Like, can't you tell I'm not Chinese?
Was she same age as you?
Same or younger.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And fifth grade, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
But anyways, kind of, I think that's the idea of our podcast name is that we might run into microaggressive like racism or even of reverse
Culture shock.
reverse culture shock.
Yep.
Living in Korea. So, but I do agree it's a lot better now than it was like 20
For sure.
25 years
For
ago,
sure.
So
I think not just Korea, but the Asian culture or just the acceptance of Asians in general throughout the rest of the world is a lot more welcoming.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think I think anybody would agree that Korea is kind of like in the in, if you will.
Yeah.
So I think that helps us a lot.
Yeah.
But like we just said, 2 decades ago, that was not quite the case. And I just kind of want to like quickly talk about my experience, right? Because I spent from first grade to half of ninth grade in Korea and went back to the stateside. So here I am back in America, and I'm trying to adjust to high school life, and I'm in the auditorium. This one white girl, I still remember her name, Kimberly. She looks at me and she goes, "Hey, can I call you Chink?"
Ooh.
Yes. This was like
That's-
day one.
It's like straight in. It's
Yes.
like explicit, not even like.
Oh my God. This is day one. This is 1999, by the way.
Wow.
Yes. And I remember saying, I didn't know what to say,
Yeah.
but I just remember saying, I knew the phrase, it's up to you. I just knew that phrase. So
Yeah.
I didn't know how else to respond. So I remember saying that. And now I'm thinking, oh my God. Like, what did she think of me? Jeez. How about you stand up for yourself?
But was she saying that with like a bad intention, or was she just ignorant?
I mean, I don't know, because she didn't like really try to like bully me in a sense. Like she was nice to me.
It's like calling you a nickname. It's like, hey, Ching.
Yeah.
Like,
Right? Yeah, but she was nice about it. So I almost like was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, is that like my first interaction with a real American?
But did you also know that word was like kind of bad?
I did.
Or, okay.
I did, but not to the extent that I feel now, right? So, because like back then, this has been only like 3 months since I moved back to the stateside. So for those of you, obviously you don't know my past. I was born in New York and spent the first 7 years of my life growing up in New York, and then my parents decided to move back to Korea. And from first grade to ninth grade, I spent my time in Korea, which is when I got the chance to learn the Korean language, the culture. But obviously, a little bit different when you're that young. The exposure is not the same as when you're an adult, right? And the experience is very different. So coming back to the stateside, it was a reverse culture shock. I had to relearn the language. So I went through that twice in my life.
Oh man, that's rough.
Once is already hard enough.
Yeah, that's so rough.
And I did it twice. Yeah. So,
wow.
But hey, that gave me the opportunity to be cultured in both sides. So I'm very grateful now.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're here with me. Going through similar experiences. I was actually born in Korea. I grew up in Korea until I was 10, and then we immigrated to U.S. And we lived in Maryland most of my life. That's where I grew up. We somehow landed there because we had some family there. Yeah, I had similar experience, just kind of assimilating, learning the language, like learning English. And now I'm kind of relearning that, coming back to Korea. So I moved to Korea last year, long story short, due to my wife's job. And I am fully doing creative things that I've always wanted to do. So in the U.S., I was an accountant. My background was accounting. I have a CPA license. I gave up my corporate career to come to Korea and support my wife's new job. And we landed here in Pyeongtaek. And we are like 5-10 minutes away from the U.S. Army base.
Hey, that's not an easy transition. Now that I'm listening to you, because like I've had some rough transition too, but because like 10, yes, it's rough, but you're gonna acclimate pretty soon, right? Because you're still young, your language ability is still like up there, and then and Tae, how old are you now? For those who don't know,
so I just turned a big 40.
Hey, that's a good milestone.
Living my young pulty days.
I'm about to be 42 in less than 2 months, so.
Hey man,
It's okay.
You look no more than 39.
Thank you. if you don't look at my hair, that statement might be somewhat supported, but well, the reason why I wanted to ask that is because obviously, our viewers get a chance to know more about us, and then I just want to kind of get a perspective of from 10 to like your late 30s. That's a long time. Like at that point, you're fully acclimated. You're probably not even thinking about, oh, I'm an outsider. You're like, hey, this is where I belong, right?
Yeah.
That's your comfort zone. Sure. And to go from that to say, all right, you know what? I'm going to support my wife's Korean and move back to Korea. That could not be a very easy decision to make. How was that for you?
I think the acclimation is definitely easier than going from Korea to U.S. back to Korea, because we have some family here. We know the language.
That helps.
And I think we were more excited than anything. Obviously, there were some challenges having to give up my job, but I was the one kind of pushing to come to Korea.
Really?
because I think there's like somewhere deep inside I wanted to come back, and especially for after we had kids, I wanted them to experience, because they don't really speak Korean. They don't know the culture as much. They went to the whole Saturday Korean school in the States and stuff, but they
it's limited.
Yeah, for sure. So adjustment period was definitely quicker. I would say I'm still kind of adjusting in some ways, but it's been really great. I think it helps that we get to live in this environment in Pyeongtaek, near the US base, where we have access to the US base, where things are a lot more familiar. And that transition definitely helped, because we just kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Kind of living in Korea, kind of step foot in the US, so if we really want to. So yeah, it's really been pretty smooth.
I think you bring up an interesting point, because I'm active duty U.S. Army.
Yes. Thank you for
member.
your service, by the way.
Thank you for your support. I appreciate that. So like, obviously we're living in this area from like a different perspective. But what you just mentioned about having our own like U.S. bubble within Korea is a very not only is it comforting, but it's a huge advantage, I feel like, because yes, Korea's great, and I love living here, but there's definitely a portion of America that I miss, and I feel like that gap is somehow like filled and fulfilled by having this community around us.
Yes.
And it's not just the PX that the Koreans know about, it's not just that. Because like nowadays you can get that on Coupon, or you can get it online ordered, right?
So readily.
You might have to pay a little bit more, but you can get that. But the community, it's also the fact that there's people around you that speak English, that understand where you come from back in the stateside. It's having that connection that makes the experience in Korea so much more enjoyable. The fact that we can go back and forth from that.
For sure.
So I agree. That part has been a huge beneficial portion for me.
I totally agree. And I think that's why we have this opportunity to kind of share our experiences living in Korea, this unique experience. We're not living in this high rise like all the other Koreans do. We're living in our very American home, I would say. It was fitted for Americans to live here. So, and that's why I was excited to kind of start this project with you and maybe share some unique experiences and opinions, just living in Korea and kind of having genuine conversations with you. We have very different backgrounds. If you're just listening, Gibson is this jacked dude, all muscle. He works out like
not all muscle.
7 days a week. I'm a very, very average. I'd say like, Korean. If you see me on the street, they're like, oh yeah, he's definitely Korean. He's not almost Korean, he's 100% Korean. But maybe Korean American.
Korean American. You definitely have a Korean American vibe. Yeah, there's no denying.
That's to sum up. That's our podcast, and hopefully we'll share different fun topics going forward. And I don't know.
I think the fact that we are very different also brings in a very fun aspect to how this podcast is gonna go, right? So I'm looking forward to that too. And obviously I want to dive a lot more deeper into some of these topics that we just kind of briefly touched upon. And I'm sure we'll do that on the follow-on episodes, right? But Tae, I'm super excited. I think this will be a good opportunity for not just the viewers to learn about us, but for you and me to kind of find out more about us, right?
I'm excited.
And I'm sure there's a lot more that we can kind of unwrap. So, I think this is a great start. I'm looking forward to those, and let's talk a little bit more deeper into some of these stuff on the following episode, shall we?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's it for our pilot episode. We just wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit, give us a little quick background, and stay tuned for our next episode. We'll be diving into more fun topics, everything and anything, including Korean and American.
Thank you for tuning into Almost Korean.
Almost Korean. See ya.